Folks, it is Blue Lives Matter. I'm at the Prue Rd substation with Sergeant Connell. Howdy, Sergeant Connell.
How are you, sir?
I'm doing good. Are you with the SAFE unit or no?
I am not.
Okay, not a problem. I bring that up because I speak with a lot of SAFE officers. We're out here today to discuss the signs that are out that the city has recently posted. Again, the police did not post these signs, but because they're on the police's property, it affects the police. And this is the sign that we're talking about.
Okay.
Right here, it's a person may not enter the property with a rifle, shotgun, or knife. That sign is unlawful because it's against the state law for them to do that.
Okay.
Texas knife preemption law all the way back in 2015 preempts localities from making stronger knife laws than what the state has passed. The state has recently changed other laws as well, defining what is a knife and what is a location restricted knife. But again, the problem here is that officers or even citizens are going to see this knife and say, someone's not allowed to walk in here with a knife.
Okay.
Does that make sense? If you see the sign there, you go, well, they can't have a knife in here, right?
Correct.
So what happens then, the officer, unless they're educated, and that's part of why I do what I do, may assume they have to make an arrest, but there's no law. There's no grounds for an arrest here, other than there's a sign which has no legal merit for that sign being there. Absolutely zero. Again, the city has chosen to place these signs here because they don't like the state preempting them from making their rules. But again, we as citizens don't get a choice about what laws we follow. The city shouldn't get to make that choice either. You'll notice they don't put a city ordinance on there. They can't legally put a city ordinance. They know that, but they still put the sign up there, which does what? A law-abiding citizen will walk up here and go, no knife. Oh, return to their car and put it in their car. That's what most law-abiding citizens would do. A person who knows their rights may go, that's not a legal sign. But it doesn't make a difference if they walk in here and it's not illegal, if the sign is posted and an officer sees it, and then the officer overreacts because of a bad sign. So this sign is a disservice to police officers. Just like the old sign that had handguns underneath it, 80% of the officers, I surveyed over 300 officers in the city of San Antonio. It's a lot of legwork. Said they would arrest someone with a license to carry if they walked in when they had that old sign. I said, but you have the gun lockers right there. Don't you understand? We don't care. We have a sign saying no guns. We'll arrest you. 80% of the officers. And I'm like, I got to get this changed before the law changes, because then anyone can carry a firearm. So they got the signs taken down. Again, within the last week, these signs have been popping up at police stations.
Okay.
The problem, again, for me, what I can do, I can educate the officers. I can put it through your chain of command. I know you'll speak with your lieutenant. He'll talk to his captain. It'll get back to James Kopp, who's the assistant city attorney for the police department. I've already sent him an email. But again, in the meantime, we as citizens, we're offended by this sign. It's taking away our rights. And I'll say this, and it may seem insulting, but on the bottom, underneath my camera, there's a actual city ordinance for the city of Converse. And it can be interpreted very offensively.
Right.
And it says, no unleashed pig beyond this point. And that's a city of Converse ordinance. It's not San Antonio.
Gotcha.
But if I went and posted that sign up here, it would be offensive to a police officer, right?
Potentially, yes.
I would be offended if I was a police officer. That may have been what that sign was intended out at Converse. The police captain laughed about it, but again, that's not the point.
Yes.
The point is the city can't go around posting up unlawful, unenforceable signs, but they do, and it affects citizens. And it's inappropriate. It's offensive to us as citizens. I appreciate your that's just an ID on my fishing pole. All officers like IDs. So if I'm fishing for cops, I put an ID on a fishing pole. Fishing pole. That's the whole reason I bring this out here.
No problem.
It's fishing for cops. I use donuts sometimes, or the ID. But again, my thing is, if I can get out to police departments and I can get the word out and let officers know, hey, you may not have even known the sign is here. Okay? But what happens when your dispatch, the person standing behind the counter, not not your local dispatch, but when they communicate over your channel
Right.
for the Prue Rd substation or this area of town,
Yes, sir.
get a call from a citizen that says, hey, I saw one of these signs and a guy has a knife in here.
Right.
They don't know the law.
Right.
They're going to call you guys. You guys are going to go out and you're going to go, well, there's a sign. What do we do? What can you do? The city puts officers in bad positions by doing that. It puts citizens in a bad position. Because just like with the handgun sign, and I just got more of them removed from the Claw Black Center, and then they put up these signs. That's over City Council too on the east side.
Right.
I walked in there and they're like, and I said, so what are you going to do if I walk in here with a handgun? I'm legally allowed to. I conceal carry, but if you guys make this a point, I'll open carry until you call the police down here and they overreact, and then you get sued over it, or you do the right thing and get rid of the signs. Well, they got rid of the signs because they're like, hey, he's right. A citizen's going to call and it's not against the law, but an officer is going to overreact based on the call.
Okay.
And it's unfair to other citizens as well, because if I see this sign and it says no knives, and I walk into the police station and I'm here to file a complaint and I see a guy in here with a knife, I'm going, yeah, the police are on the other side of a bulletproof glass. I'm stuck in here with a guy with a knife and he ain't supposed to have one.
Right.
I'm going to feel threatened or in fear because I'm going to say there's a citizen who is blatantly not following the law because I saw the no knife sign, and yet these officers aren't doing anything. So I'm either going to think this guy's really bad and the officers are cowards, or the officers are bad officers because they're not enforcing the law. But you can't enforce the law. So again, it puts officers in a bad spot. And that's why I do what I do. I joke with officers. I do what I do as an activist. But just so you...
And this is the West Substation. Interesting. They've got it twice. Okay. You want to repeat that?
What is your name?
What is your name? Because now I am recording.
I'll be right back.
That's what I thought. You're not going to force me to ID to speak to an officer. Recording this one.
I'm recording it too.
Okay.
My name is Sergeant Michael Ross.
Okay, we've spoke before, Sergeant
Yeah.
Ross.
What can I do for you?
My name's Tori. You know who I am. They call me the homeless hippie. I'm out here about your new signs, the knife signs on the doors.
Yeah, well, aren't you guys one of the guys that go around trying to audit or whatever you guys call it, right?
You can call it audit. I call it being a socially responsible citizen. You have up signs that are telling citizens.
T-O-R-Y?
Yeah, T-O-R-Y.
Last name, Tori?
R-I-E-S.
Oh, Reese, just that's it.
Yeah, that's it.
Date of birth, Tori?
Nah, I'm not giving that right now.
I'll find
Yeah, I know you will.
it. Do you have a current address or you still...
Not going over that either.
It's all right.
I'll give it to you after I finish recording, but I mean,
all right.
either way, you guys have a file about that thick on me.
It is all right.
Yeah.
So you want to go out there and look at it and talk
Yeah,
about it?
yeah, let's go talk about it. First things first, your desk clerk was completely out of line with telling me that she demanded my ID, and I said, I'll give that to the officer when I speak with her. And then she said, you're not recording, are you? And I said, yes, I am recording. And she's like, you're not allowed to do that. I'm like, I wasn't even recording at that point. But the fact is, I do record. I'm allowed to record in public.
Yeah, I don't really care.
Right, I got it. But anyway, so this new sign, the city put these up about a week ago at all the police substations. Rifle, shotgun, or knife. Rifle and shotgun, the state does not regulate. Local municipalities can. Knives, local municipalities cannot do that. This is not a knife, restricted knife location. The state has laws on that. The state has a knife preemption law going all the way back to 2015, saying that local municipalities cannot enact tougher knife laws than what the state has. The state also recently redefined what are illegal knives, which are now location restricted knives versus other knives. Either way, the city has decided they're going to start putting up these no knife signs. You as an officer, what are you going to do if a guy walks in here with a knife? There's no law against it.
Well, I'm going to be honest with you. Anybody can be asked to leave this premises.
Yes, sir, they
Understand
can.
that? So whether the sign's right or wrong, if we have a disagreement about something, and I say, hey, listen, if your business is included, you're not welcome here anymore.
Okay.
Right? That's fine.
And-
now, if you say that this sign is wrong, right? I will take your information, I will document it, and I will send it up through my chain of command.
Okay, and that's what I expect you to do.
And that's what I always do.
Okay, then I'll get that case number and we'll conclude our
Well, it's
business.
going to be an inter-office correspondence. It's not going to be a case number.
Okay, so you're not going to do a documentation or
No, I'm going to
incident.
document it.
Okay.
Right? Case numbers are generated for real things. So you
And-
have a complaint with the process, right? So I'm going to write an inter-office correspondence through my chain of command to my captain up to the DC so that they're aware of your concern,
Okay,
right?
excellent.
And I have no reason to lie to you, Tori.
I'm not disputing that
No,
you
I've
would.
been doing this a long time. You know.
I know. Look, I'm going to be just straight out and honest with you about that. I knew when I came out here, I trust this subdivision's chain of command. That's pretty much the usual here in San Antonio. There are 2 subdivisions or substations that I'm not exactly confident in their officers' responses. I'll give you a classic example. Earlier today, I'm at the East Side substation, and an officer in there tells me that she would arrest someone who walked in with a handgun into the lobby. We both know that's unlawful, that you can walk into a lobby with a handgun. She doesn't even know the law. She's telling someone she would arrest them for it. I said, well, what about a knife? That's not against the law either. And she said, all weapons are prohibited. And I said, that's why I'm out here. Officers need to know the law. The city can post whatever they want to post. It's not enforceable. Officers need to know it's not enforceable.
Well, I'm going to be honest with you. We want all our officers to be informed as possible.
Yes.
But I'm going to tell you something. No policeman, including me that's been doing this 30 years, knows every law in the book.
And you're absolutely
So when
right.
we get information like this and you're saying that this is incorrect, I will take it up and the chain of command can look at it, the city attorneys can look at it, and they'll make that decision. It's not going to be mine.
No, it's not yours. It is above your pay grade. I appreciate that. And at the same time, in the meantime, all that I ask, and whether you do it or not, is that you look into it yourself. And because again, if someone were to walk in here and they had a knife, and you ask them to leave for any other reason, that's understandable. But telling them to leave just because they have a knife is violating their rights under the state law of Texas. That's the problem. If they come in here and they're causing a disturbance, for example, while I can legally walk in here with a katana, if I'm making threatening moves or gestures with it, by all means, remove the person by walking in here with
To
a
be honest,
katana.
if you come in here with a katana and even take it out of a scabbard,
Oh, if you take
You'll
it out
leave
of
it.
the scabbard, well, they may not be leaving on their own 2 feet. I'm just saying.
hey, Tori, do me a favor. Whenever you come here and you want to talk about something, ask for me. I'll
Okay.
give you my business card.
Okay.
You can talk to me anytime you want, but the civilians that work up front, they don't get paid a lot of money to do that. So if you're not worried about giving me your name, giving me your name so they can come find one of us supervisors, that's not too much to ask.
Well, okay.
I freely give mine to everybody.
I understand that, but Sergeant Ross, honestly,
I know you don't have to.
right, when I walk in and I see a lady, and is she not wearing a police jacket that says SAPD on it? She is. I don't know if she's an officer or not. I asked her
Just a
that.
civilian employee.
I know she's a civilian employee. I realized that when she said, what about the signs? And I said, are you an officer? And she's like, what's your name? And I'm like, hold on, I want to speak to an officer. I don't want to speak to a civilian employee. Why? She takes calls, and this is, I'm going to turn off my recording because
Whenever
my
you're ready,
viewers-
Tori.
It's getting windy out here today. We're now at the Southwest Area Police Station. And once again, we got one of their signs up. Damn city facility maintenance people putting up these may not enter this property with knife, rifle, or shotgun signs. Well, you know how I feel about that. We'll see what they have to say. Hello. Yes, I need to speak with an officer about the sign on your door. A little after 5. Restricted area off to the left. Restricted entry off to the right. This is a open public lobby. We're gonna pause this. Yeah. My name's Tori. I'm an activist. You're Officer Widener? Widener, 1763?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'm here to discuss the sign outside, the no knife sign.
You want to go show me?
Yeah, not a problem. Before we step out there, typically I don't carry a firearm when I'm speaking with officers. I am carrying a firearm today. That's a professional courtesy, not intended as a threat or whatever. I just don't want you to look down and go, oh my God, the guy's carrying it, he didn't tell me. So it's just a professional courtesy to let you know. Okay, so this sign here, the city recently put up this sign.
Okay.
They may not enter with a rifle, shotgun, or knife.
Okay.
There's a problem with the sign.
Okay.
Hopefully you as an officer know that you can't enforce the knife part about this sign. Are you aware of that?
Okay, sir.
Texas knife preemption law, which was signed back in 2015,
Okay.
prevents localities from enacting ordinances tougher than the state's knife law. The state also just recently, this past year, changed policy on what used to be considered illegal knives. Now there are no illegal knives. There are location restricted knives, but this is not one of the locations that the state allows anyone to restrict knife carrying.
Okay.
So what happens is, and this isn't the police's fault, I know you didn't put up the sign, the city did, but it affects officers because an officer sees this sign and says, there's a sign that says no knives. What do you do if someone walks in here with a knife?
Okay.
You can't tell them to leave just because they have a knife, but that's not how an officer is going to interpret that, right? And that's why I'm out here. This is the last substation that I'll be visiting today.
Okay.
I've gone to every police substation. Bike Patrol's already taken theirs down. This is not something you can handle. I understand that. It goes through the chain of command. My issue with it is that what I can do is educate officers. The city puts these signs up and it puts officers in bad places. Where you hear about 2 years ago when they had the old sign up that said no handguns. Do you remember that sign?
Not off the top of my head, sir.
Okay. The city had up no handgun signs at all the police stations. Again, unlawful signs.